around 80 percentile.
And NMAT score?
NMAT score 234.
So why don't you give another attempt in CAT?
So because I knew I can perform better, which is shown through my NMAT score. CAT, the day I gave the CAT exam was an off day for me, and NMIMS is also NMI is also one of the most prestigious colleges in this country, and getting into it is nothing like a dream, and I would really like to try my shot at it.
So how much you scored in CAT?
I did not attempt that.
Why?
I had my college exams lined up at that time. I could not.
And symbiosis?
Symbiosis, I missed the cutoff.
So you did not do well in CAT and you missed the cutoff in symbiosis. So NMAT was the outlier, na?
Uh, no, so I would not say that. I
Your
NMAT was
mark.
not the outlier. Yeah, I get why one could make that assumption, but I believe in myself and I know the abilities. And once failure is not the end of the world, I can always bounce back. And end of the day, what matters is I scored the examination which I'm presenting for right now.
You're from IT field.
Yeah.
What is the difference between computer science and IT?
Difference between computer science and IT. So IT computer science is a bit more hardware based as well. It contains a curriculum comprising both hardware and software, whereas IT is mostly more inclined towards the software part of the workings.
So you have already been placed.
Sorry.
Have you already been placed?
No, I am interning right now, which could be a potential conversion.
What is the placement scene in your institute?
What is the placement?
Scene in your institute.
Uh, a placement fee in my institute would be fairly, I would say, fairly at decent at level. The average package goes around 8, 9, and so is the median package. And yes, a few may be placed in the lower domain, but there are few again who have got good packages as well in my institution.
So why are you still unplaced?
No, I opted out for placements. I did not sit for placements
Why?
because I was always more inclined towards doing an MBA, and hence I gave it my shot over there. And I did not want any placements restrictions at me at that point. Hence, I opted out from placements in the first place. I sat for internships and landed one directly.
What kind of restrictions are there if you fit for placement?
If we get let's suppose we get a company, we cannot say no to that. And my dilemma was if I get into an B school also, I might not be able to go for that year because in case I say no to the company, the college might hold my degree or I may have to face some consequences. Hence, I did not want to risk that.
But how can your college hold back your degree if you don't join the company? That would be
Because no, yeah, I had the same question, but because if you are sitting for placements and you get a place company through the college, then it's on them on their record also. And and it makes sense if for the company also it's bad if they hire someone and they opt out at the end. They also want candidates who are if they also assume candidates who are sitting for placements are going to join them. You cannot expect them also to hire somebody and that person later says I don't want to join your company. We do have an option for joining a company with a double the package with between parameters brackets. Suppose someone has landed a job between 7 to 10, he can sit for options which are higher than 14, and likewise.
what is OSI model?
What is OSI model? OSI model is it's a framework that describes how the transmission of data happens through different computers. It's a seven-layer model, and all these layers have a specific function. And if you want me to name the layers, they start from physical. They go to physical data link, PD, and network transport session, presentation, and application from top to bottom.
What is the full form of OSI?
What is the full form of OSI? Open Systems Interconnection Model.
And what is HTTP
Hypertext Protocol. Hypertransfer Text Protocol.
and HTTPS?
HTT,
HTTPS.
PF or HTTPFL? No.
HTTPS.
So your last letter is not clear. F or S?
SS.
S, right?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's something called HTTPS.
Yeah, that's why I was asking what it is. HTTPS is Hypertext Protocol. I'm not sure about this.
These are the basic two prefixes when you go for any web search and these two pop up, na?
Yeah, yeah. I know the difference between them. I don't remember the full form.
What is the difference?
The HTTP basic one which we see is not encrypted, but the HTTPS one is where the data is encrypted, which is more secure. Any website you see with HTTP would be less secure compared to a website with HTTPS. So usually the S ones are used for confidential data or payments or net banking and those parameters.
And what is data mining?
Data mining is the process of scavenging through data using tools such as Weka to find data which is useful for the purpose or from useful for purpose from the scrap of, from the all the available of data present online.
Give an example.
Basically, using models such as classification, KNN, where KNN is a model where the nearest neighbors are allocated. Where if we want to find similar data, we use the nearest neighbors to it. We use it to track the nearest neighbors to it and accumulate all them together for mining that particular data.
Mining means scavenging.
Mining means looking for it, traversing through it for the data.
What is programming?
What is?
Programming.
Pro- Programming is the basic fundamental blocks we use to write a code which helps us in getting an execution output of our desired outcome through a result.
Give an example.
An example of programming would be when you write a block of code or some block of code for finding, let's say, a prime number, if a number is prime or not. So you have a condition which is run through or executed, and that your the inputted number, the entered number goes through that condition for validation. And if it matches the condition, you get the desired result that it is a prime number, else it's not a prime number, for example.
Which software will you use for programming, making this program for finding a prime number?
You can use many softwares for that. You can write a C++ code, a Python code, a Java code. There are various languages you can use and with different syntaxes, but the same logic, the crux of the logic is same, but it depends which language you are more comfortable with or which framework you want to work with.
So which one will you use?
I was more familiar with Java.
So is it because of familiarity or is it something else?
I no, it's because I had studied that in my school as well, and I had a liking for that in the first place itself. So I was more inclined to it towards compared to others. Though I might, though I would say C plus Python is more. You can work with things better with Python, but I personally found Java better. I had an inclination towards it because I was well versed with the syntax already, so I had a head start.
What is cloud computing?
Cloud computing is the is the provisioning of resources for an allocation through computing the data on cloud. It's basically used to help them store their data easily. There are various cloud models you can use: public, private, community, hybrid. So according to the according to the enterprises demands, you can use models. It helps in it's elastic and the benefits would be broad measured access on resource demand, resource provisioning, where you can provision resource to the customer, and measured services. So basically, you're only charged for what you have used, not for the entire process.
How is programming different from cloud computing?
Cloud computing is as such not programming. Cloud computing is useful in storing your data for an organization. Let's suppose you have a you have a company and you want to store your data for the organization. So you could you could go through cloud computing software such as Amazon, IBM, where they set up a cloud for you. As the cloud in this sense means a cloud basically where you can store data. So cloud computing is mainly used for storing your information, whereas programming is used for the logical working on it.
Can you explain C++? plus plus?
Can I explain C++? I mean, for explaining a language would be it's an object-oriented programming language where it's used for a lot of systems such as it's used for basically any purpose such as game development, embedded systems. It's object-oriented and it's easy to use. It's a low-level programming language, so it's easy to use for anyone. And like explain, should I tell you the syntax or what do you want for an explanation?
Give an example where you will use it.
I can use it for any function, any. I can use it for any from any basic function where I want to check if a number is odd or even. I can use C++, and I can also use it for supporting my supporting the four pillars of programming: abstraction, inheritance, polymorphism. It's a very varied use. It can go from a very basic level to a very high level as well.
And what is procedure-oriented programming?
Procedure. Okay, procedure-oriented programming is something which is different from C++ and Java, which are object-oriented programming languages. Procedure-oriented programming would be the one where you the main purpose is the main factor we have in our mind is the procedure, not the object or target in this. It follows a approach where we work more with the procedure rather than the data. So we break it down into set of functions that operate on that.
So which language uses procedure-oriented programming?
The one only C.
So if you are to write a program in C++ and C, how would the approach be different?
Basically, as I said in the procedure in the programming, you focus more on the procedure. So it's the top-down approach where we break our entire code into small parts. But compared to C++, if I would have to write the same thing, it would be a bottom-down approach where I would build from small parts to the overall outlook, to the overall procedure. Overall, yeah.
Have you done any project in C++?
I have done projects in Android Studio. I've not done no, and my major projects have been in JavaScript and Android Studio. So
Explain
it
any
was
project.
mostly of web development. Okay, Android Studio is a web development application which is used to develop applications, mobile applications, and web applications. So
Hello.
Android Studio uses hello.
Yeah, I'm saying that explain any project you have done in Java.
Acha, oh, sorry, project. Yeah, yeah. So, and my main project would be the Capstone project, which I completed in my seventh semester, which was an AI-powered nutrition and fitness tracker, which was a web application in which I had a series of authentications. I had used front end as well as back end, where I had back end stuff for Firebase authentication and data storage for the customer, and an email newsletter option as well. And I integrated it with an AI chatbot as well, which would answer the user's queries based on personalized meals. And at the same time, it had diet plans for the user as well. And for the front end, I had done the CSS, HTML, JavaScript web cascading for the project by making it look aesthetic and pleasing. And this web application could be used on your mobile as well as a laptop. And this the key factor was this was a dual login setup because the USP was that we found out that even we have like the idea of the project was to tie up with gyms as well who can tie this with their memberships also. So it was a dual login system where even the gym owners could have a separate login to track their inventory of the gym, their customers, or the user could also log in as a customer and go through the AI chatbot through different authentications and different validations secured in two different databases. And as this was a sensitive topic regarding health, I had the passwords encrypted as well. So even the person at the back end using the database could not see the password. It would be an encrypted form of 32-bit encryption.
But if you are using it for the gym owner and the gym user, then the population that you are targeting is very limited, no?
Yeah, at the end of the day, it was an AI-powered nutrition and fitness tracker. But no, it's not compulsory that they had to be a gym work member as well as a gym owner. They could either if they connected with our gym, if the gym connected with our application, they could store their inventory their members and those proceedings. But a user who's not a part of gym could also use it for basic nutrition guidance through our AI chatbot and for asking for basic fitness tips as well. It was not
So,
a compulsion that they had to be part of both.
did you study any other such app before you made your app?
Yes, yes. We for this project, I studied the major apps which are in the market, such as Healthify, MyFitnessPal, workout plans, and as I said, a lot of the and the issue with these apps is also these apps used to consider your weight as a factor and not move ahead of it. So a person weighing, let's suppose 60 kg, but with a lot more body fat percentage would be put in the same bracket with a person who weighs 60 kg but with a lot more muscle mass. When ideally it's a very different thing for both of them. It's not the same thing. So the workout plans given to both of them would be same in these apps, which our app overcame by calculating the BMI and the body fat percentage of the user and then suggesting them plans on basis of that. And we also spoke to a few gyms regarding this. And since this was also a sensitive topic, the our data for the AI for the AI bot for nutrition was limited as we did not want to give wrong answers at the same time at this level. So we also had this signed by a dietitian, and we have a certificate for that as well, where the dietitian has approved what the data set we used for training of the AI bot.
Why should you be selected?
So I believe I do agree. I have not put up my expectations in a few other examinations at the same time, but I performed in this one, and I feel what matters is your one chance when you work it out. I am a hardworking person. I don't like to look back. I want to keep moving forward. I want to learn, enjoy the process, and make mistakes at the same time, and learn from those mistakes and get going, which fuels me. I'm the person who does not want things to be given to them. I want to work for them and make a difference. And for that, I feel the curriculum for this college would help me a lot. And sharing resources and exchanging ideas with like-minded peers would benefit me a lot in the long run.
All this is why you want to do it. Yeah, I'm asking why should we select?
You should select me because, as I said, I would provide a strong. I would definitely work hard and get this, get make the institute proud by doing something in the future, which is beneficial for the government, for the country as well as the economy, and which would make the institute proud. And I could, which would make the institute proud and help broadening the alumni network of the college which could also help the people who join later to look up to me later and say that they want to join this college as well.
Yeah, but this is all in the future and you have to tell from your past. Among all the candidates, why should we select you? Every candidate will say what you have already said. Na? This is the dream of everyone.
I do agree that there are other candidates also, but at the end of the day, the past records don't compulsorily define what you are going to do in the future, and vice versa. So I believe if you if basis or from based if only basis of past are being considered, then it's a wrong analogy because people do change and there's no scope of improvement. People do change and they change drastically, and they do and people do get ahead. And I can assure you, I'm one of those people as well who will move forward doing the right thing and doing it thoroughly.
Show me your academic growth trajectory from class 10 onwards.
Class 10th, I scored a 92.5% in my ICSC board examinations. Class 12th, I had my boards did not take place, and I had my boards were cancelled due to the COVID-19 pandemic going on, and hence our board exams were not considered, and marks were provided on based on other factors. So I scored 86.83% in my 12th standard. In my college first year was online again as well, and I joined my college officially offline in second year, and I maintained a GPA of 3.15 from then out of 4 scaling system, and yeah, that's my grades till now.
So I don't see any upward movement. Na? So how do I know that in future it will be upward?
So you definitely don't see an upward movement, but you do see a consistent one throughout, where I've not slacked a lot anywhere. I've maintained it maintained those grades thoroughly because I was working on simultaneously other things also, which is not an excuse, of course. But I believe only grades don't define you, and if you can balance your grades with others learning other skills and moving on, that is better than a person who scores more grades but only scores the grades.
So what extra you've been doing?
I've I've played a lot of football competitions where I vice captain my team as well. I run marathons every on yearly basis, trying to improve my times. I believe fitness is a very important part of life, which is often neglected by people. Hence, my final year project was also on the same. And I believe do play a sport or something which keeps me going every time. And I've been in good shape throughout my life. I've been in good shape throughout, and I also act a lot. I've been a part of a lot of acting competitions throughout my school. And in college, I took part in a stage impromptu as well. I have a few certificates to my name also regarding the same. I've won a lot of football tournaments for my school also. I did not play football in college due to an injury in my leg. I was in the reserves because of that. But when and now when I get the time, I do help young kids also with the same.
Do you remember any of your plays which you have done?
Yeah, I performed on the International Disability Day for the kids who were disabled, and we had a play based on Stephen Hawking to show those kids that disability is not the end of life, only a setback which can easily be overcome by determination. So we had a street play on basis of that.
Have you done any play which is famous?
Uh, Famous is subjective again, but I have participated in the Gundecha annual dramatics competition where I again secured a third prize.
What role did you play and which play did you do?
I was a voiceover for Amitabh Bachchan.
Do you remember any of the dialogue?
Yeah, I did the I did the famous Kaun Banega Crorepati monologue for him where he does the starting for them.
Do it for us.
Um, okay, sure. My voice was a bit different back then, obviously, but yeah, still. तो दोस्तों स्वागत है आपका हमारे इस अद्भुत खेल में कौन बनेगा करोड़पति तो लेट्स प्ले. This is one of the dialogues I do remember. And it was a long skit, and I had a voiceover for. So I was a narrator for the play as well, along with this.
Anything else you should know about?
Um, I, for knowing about me, I would like. Um, I would again like to emphasize on the fact that I'm a learner. I do make mistakes. I do fall. But what I believe is if you keep growing from them and moving ahead, you're going to outrun the competition and be ahead. No matter where you start, it's always about the finish line. And it's not a sprint, it's a jog where you have to be consistent throughout. You cannot put in days of high effort for a while and then leave it. You have to be consistent, and that is who I am. And I feel that that is what matters. End of the day, for any organization, institute, or any outcome in life is dependent on that.
Okay, fine. I think you are okay, but you have to listen to what the question is, and sometimes you are sounding a little brash. So you have
Sounding a little,
brash, impolite.
acha, impolite. Oh, sorry.
You have to be a little more polite. Otherwise,
Yes,
I
sir.
think it was a good thing. I am not very sure about your technical answers, but they seem to be helpful.
Also, most of them were, I feel, correct only. One, I had this doubt if I'm not sure, should I try to lie one bit or no?
No, you should never lie. You don't know what the other person.
Yeah, that's why the HTTPS wala, I thought I'll say something for S, but I was like,
चलो ठीक है tomorrow the class is at 11 in the morning.
yeah, I'll join 11 again. But sir, what should I improve on kal tak ke liye? Like, should I mean, what more can I add any feedback?
The answer was not right when I asked you why could you be selected. Your selection is
So that
based.
answer I don't understand only, sir. What should I say for that?
You have to see the admission criteria, na? You have to say that how you qualify in that criteria.
Sir, but then if I say that, then it will sound braggy that I'm saying I can do. You have to take me because I'm qualifying your criteria.
No, yeah. So that is how they are selecting. Na? It's not a subjective criteria. It's right.
Acha. Okay, I'll prepare one answer and send it to you on WhatsApp. You go through it again, then I'll say again. I'll give one again tomorrow 11.
Okay, bye.
Thank you, sir.